Right, let's have a look, see. Is it working? I think it is. Let me just, don't do that, do I? I'm moving the wrong thing about. Evening all, give us a thumbs up under the video if we're coming through loud and clear. Type something in the comments, etc. Just so I know it's all alive and working. About as alive and working as I am at the minute. I was doing 850 lots non-stop. That was a bit of a marathon. Evening Stephen, Peter, Bars, Stella, evening. Marvellous. Right, hope we're all well. Had a jolly weekend. I'm just trying to get my voice back. So, yes. Evening, Peter. We'll have a quick look at some of the auction prices. Won't go through all of it. Obviously, all the magazines and things, that's a bit boring, but we'll have a look at the books. Look at what's in for 30th of July. Look at some new website features on the Goldcon website I've been working on. And round it all off with a nice little film, as per usual, of a jolly seaside trip to Margate, and with the seaside and dreamland and all sorts of things in it, so that's quite good. Evening, David. Evening, Richards. Evening, all. Someone's got a lot of reading to do. Yes, I've got a lot of sorting of magazines out into piles to do as well, so that's one of my jobs for tomorrow, amongst various other things. Yeah, it's all been busy. Right, let's have a quick look at the prices. Closed. I don't want to do that. Why has that come on there? Let me just jiggle that down there like that. That's a bit better. I say about before the magazines, but some of the books. Just to see what we did. 100 Years of Slot Machines, £16. Jukeboxes, 7. Evening, Gary. Last Day in the Bermuda Triangle. Very good. Let's hope you survive. American Play, I made a £5. Amusement Machines with the little Shire book of £6. The illustrated price guide. So we got Slot Machines Volume 2, 18. Slot Machines Volume 3, 18. Slots 4, 32. Obviously more people wanted that one. 100 Most Collectible Trade Stims Volume 1, 20. And Volume 2, 24. And Arcade 1, 18. The Arcade Sports Games book is a big thick kind of spiral bound book, 65, rare book that one. Very hard to find, very good book. I haven't got it. I still haven't got it at £65 either. Anyway, never mind. Arcade Treasures, 20. The John Carter book, 20 again. Arcadia, 24. That was right, they usually make a bit more than that, don't they? They usually make sort of 30 something. Or Thomas and Welton, 22. The Nick Costa book, 22. About average for those, isn't it? Bally Bingo, 28. Banditon, something like that, 14. Evening Shane, evening Peter. Classic Soda Machines, 28. Dick Michel's book, £18. Collector's Guide to Coin Machines, good book. I've got it, mine's got a different cover on it. Mine's here, I hope beside my desk, often refer to it. It's a good book. Oh, mine's second edition, that's why it's a different colour maybe. Just noticed that. I think the blue one's the first edition. The Antique Slot Machine, Contemporary Advertising, that's a very good book. I think that's another one I've got. It's full of vintage adverts. Sort of 25-year period. Drop coin here, 32. That was quite cheap, really. I paid a lot of money for mine. It was a very hard book to get hold of, a Ken Rubin book. Kind of one of the first sort of classic coin op books. I think I paid about £60 or £70 for mine years ago. The Encyclopedia of Pinball, I think these are the most expensive books. Again, very hard to find. Excellent, excellent books. I haven't got them, sadly. I still haven't got them. Volume 1 made 150, Volume 2 made 170. So, yes. I think they're the most expensive 2 books of the day. Every Picture Tells a Story, £60. That one was coin up and advertising stuff as well mixed in. For Amusement Only, Tom Gusweiler book, good book. Again, it's another one I have here quite often. Yep, down by the side of my desk here. 36. Fruit Machines, that was an interesting little book, a little British book, sort of little guide for just sort of operators really, just sort of little pamphlet thingy, 1963, quite interesting, £6. Bushell Vintage Trade Stimulators Counter Games book, 70. Evening David. Gumball Machines, Right or Wrong, that's a very interesting book. Hundreds and hundreds of illustrations in it. If you're into gumball machines, as it says on the tin really, so it shows you umpteen different versions of all different gumball machines and pointing out where it's got the wrong globe on it, or the wrong lock, or the wrong top cap or something, because they all get mixed up over the years. So if you're into gumball machines, it's a really good book actually. The Jennings Slot Machines, Part 1, 55 and 2, 36. Here's a bargain booklet. John Patrick Slots, £1. There you go. Have to have something for £1 in the sale, don't we? Or it's not the same. Lemons, Cherries, Bellfruit Gum, another very good book, £40. Little Trade Stim price guide, £1. But as I pointed out at the time, its prices in 1996, so it's not really relevant anymore, is it? Slot Machines of Yesteryear, these are very good books. I've got, which one have I? I think I've got the 40s one, I haven't got the 30s one, I don't think. Again, loads of really good resource stuff in there, old advertising stuff, spare parts lists, exploded diagrams, all sorts. They're very, very good books. Anyway, the 40s one made 34, and the 30s one made 55. David, good evening. How do you purchase any of these items? These were all sold today in today's auction. So we'll be having another book auction in December, probably before Christmas, of slot machine books, and there'll be another one before then as well of a whole load of well, other books that are relevant to the kind of stuff we collect, mechanical music and music boxes, and there's a load of Steam stuff. There's some fairground stuff, circus stuff, magic stuff, all sorts. There's a lot of books been piling up. So there will be more book sales, panic not. Keep an eye on the website basically for the auction dates. Either on the elephanthouseauctions.com website or the Colcon website, which is the one I tend to use the most, colcon.co.uk or .com. Have a look, there should be a link in the description of the video. Anyway, Payout Dice Machines. Another very hard book to get, covering the bones and the battery reliance and the whatnot, £60. Darren's Working Model book, 55. Pinball Art, 14. Pinball D. Ladwig book, £7. They've gone up, and they used to be £1 those, didn't they, all the time? They're constantly £1, and then they've gone up. Pinball Portfolio, classic pinball book, £20. Pinball Lure, the Silver Ball, 14. Real Amusement, another Tom Gusweiler book, 32. That's kind of the follow-on from, what's the other one called? Whatever it's called, the green one. Real History, 40. Loads of full of photographs, that one, of machines. David, anyone got a 1p metal coin tube for an old Bellfruit new target fruit machine for sale? Ah, there we go. Anybody help out with that? Spares, our next spares sale again will be the end of the year. Slot machine spares, we had one 2 weeks ago. The next one will probably be early December, I should think. Something like that. We'll be firming up a lot of dates in the next week or two for the rest of the year. Once a few things have fell into place. Scales, these 2 scale books, £1 and £5. They've got some coin up scales in them, but also a lot of other just countertop scales for things. Schöner Alter Automaton, the German book there, 18. Silent Salesman 2, 65. Nice book again, thousands of illustrations in. Slot Machine Buyer's Handbook. We have the first edition, made 26. And the second edition, or a later edition anyway, made 18. Slot Machine Mania. There was a couple of these kind of books which are kind of like how to play slot machines, and anyway, £1. Slot Machines, the pictorial history of the first 100 years, 5th edition, £54. Another excellent book. I ought to update mine. I think I've got about the 3rd edition. I think and that one was the 5th edition, which I think might be the most recent one. Shows you how popular the book's been. A very good book. Like £85. Slot Machines Coin-Op Games, 20. Dieter Ladwig Slot Machines, £14. Again, it was one years ago. They constantly used to turn up, and you get £1 or £2 for them. But all these books, of course, get more scarce as they go out of the general kind of collector's hands. The odd people, as it were, buy them up. They're not so easy to find. Slot Machines on Parade. Again, another one. I always have by my side my copy. It's a bit raggedy, my copy. Perhaps I should have bought that one. But lovely, if you've never seen it, lovely big, where's the camera? Full page adverts, full page photographs in. Good book. Great if you're restoring bandits and trying to get the colour schemes. Anyway, £50. Slots 1 rather. 100 collectible slot machines, volume 1. £50 also. Little coin slot guide for the Jennings, 30. The Anatomy of the Vintage Slot Machine by Mills. That's a really interesting book. A reprint of the 1933, I think, book that Mills themselves published when they brought out the silent mechanism. Just basically telling people how good their mechanisms were. But it's really, again, loads of illustrations in it of the mechs and explanations. Essential really for into Mills machines. £34, that one. What else do we have? Basics of Slots, £1. Was that one? Oh no, £2, that one. The Encyclopedia of Arcade Video Games. A good, nice, good, thick book. All the early videos. That's quite interesting. I know it's not most of our cups of tea, but anyway, 22. The Facts of Slots, little kind of pockety book, £1. Penny Arcade Price Guide, 14. Loads of information in it. They're 1997, so the prices are a little bit out of date. Pocket Guide to Coin-Op Vending Machines, made 24. What's this one? The Winner's Book of Video Games, 3. I like the subtitle. How to Outfox the Most Diabolical Coin-Op and Home Games with Strategy and Style. Vender Groschenfeld, 36. Winning at Slot Machines, £2. That was it on the books and the manuals and stuff. Bally, covering a lot of the Bally's, £8. A couple of Jennings parts catalogues, £12 and £10. Well, so that was an original, £8. The owner's pictorial guides, these do very well, always do well. So the Jennings, 46. The Pace, 65. And the Watling, 85. There you go, interesting, the price difference in those, isn't it? Williams parts catalogue, £1. A couple of Wurlitzer bits. Copies, £8, £5. That was an original, quite interesting thing, £5. And some Repro slot sales catalogues. The Hong Kong Works, £7. Bollins, 38. Catalogue of Golden Opportunities, that's nice and lovely illustrations in that one, £5. Games of the 90s is basically copies of Mills adverts. I think there's only 8, some of them put it together. £5. Mike Munley's 8. Mills catalogues, 20 and 20. And earlier Mills ones, 20 and 20, they're all 20. How spooky. Kale, 24, and another Mills, 24. And another Little Mills or pocket size one, Trade Stims, a £5. The slot machine flyers, the big game stuff was repro, that's £5, the rest was real. So, and these are all machines we've sold recently, interestingly. Joe had some flyers, so put them in. Carbon Ace, £6. The Daily Races, £8. Gem, £16. Spinner Winner, a tenner. Turf Flash, 12. So hopefully they've all gone to the people who bought the machines that we sold over the past few months, but I don't know who's bought them. Wings, 12. The photographs, there's a bit of interest in all the photographs. The copy of the Denison book, 80. 101 two-player games, £28. 109 trade stimulators and vendors, etc., £28. 119 all-wing photographs, 16. 120 bandit photographs, 6 and 2. Not so much interest in the bandit photographs for some reason. Wall machines, so that was wall machines other than all wins, 30 for 140 photographs. 17 cranes and merchandisers, 24. 37 of different shooters, made 12. 40 of fortune tellers, all different fortune tellers, made £50. 40 photographs of electric shockers, made 4. 46 photographs of uprights, wheel machines, £6. Working model photographs, I think these are the most expensive. 50 working model photographs, made 75. 58 strength testers, made 6. 62 jukeboxes, made 2. Nobody into jukeboxes. 65 console bandit photographs, £3. I think we're just about there, aren't we? Won't bother with all the magazines. 80 photographs of mutoscopes and viewers, £4. 87 Brian's machine photographs, made 60. That was it. Yeah, I won't go through all the magazines, but magazines more or less were making, the average was probably about £3, I should think. There was a few that made 1 and 2, and there was some that made 10 and 14. They had particular machines in. So it kind of worked as a, you know, as a bit of it was a bit of a trial run really to see if selling all the magazines off separately would work. There's a pound or two scrolling through. But yeah, and hopefully it's filled in a lot of gaps in people's collections, which was kind of the idea of it. Rather than just buying a big bundle when you only wanted 1 or 2. Yeah, sort of 6.10. You can see some of these going past at a tenner. Game rooms, £8, £3. I think really it often just depended. I think what if they had a nice cover picture, and if they just go down to the end, if they you know, had articles of interest to people. Oops, I was looking for the end. All the auction catalogues, they were making probably about £10 on average, something like that. Some were a lot more, £40. And Morphy ones are nice hardback books, basically. Some were £1. So yeah, across the board. There you go. That's where we're up with all that lot. So now I've just got to sort them all out and get them off to people. Let me just have a mouthful of tea. So I say we'll do one again, slot machine one again, the end of the year, and there'll probably be another 1 or 2, at least 1, if not 2 book auctions in between as well. Yeah, working on that. Right, let's have a quick look at what's in for the next auction, which is on the 30th of, so 2 weeks' time. So obviously there's all the stuff on here. Mostly machines in this sale. These will be have the proper photographs uploaded in the coming week. I think there's 40 there. And then there's some fresh bits that I've not got on yet. So the lovely Centerpool Kaylee Victory. Stunning. This is about the best as you're ever going to find. It's an earliest, a cast iron one. Original nickel plating, original transfers on the side, original tin reel strips. All working, mint benders working, everything. Fabulous, fabulous machine. That should do well, I think. Nice pace, pace, whatever it's called. I remember the name of this one. A nice pace anyway. Again, all lovely working, rotary escalator, etc, etc. Evening, Carl. Hope you're well. A extraordinary, milled extraordinary in a console case. It's a later reproduction console case, but a really nice quality one, solid oak. Very nice. Again, jackpot escalator, all the biz, locks, keys, blah de blah. A lovely machine. A little Superior gum. Not a gum one. This one is it? Superior. The other one. We had the gum vendor one before. This one doesn't vend gum. I think that's the right way around. The other one has a little flap in the bottom. There's two versions of it. Cigarette packet reels. We sold the other one a couple of auctions back, I think. A little IOU, a little trade stem with its very rare original IOU dice in it. And all this bells and whistles, gum vendor, anti-cheat, blah, blah, blah. Good as one of those you're ever going to find. We sold a few that have had sort of kind of the English conversion on them, where they don't have the coin display window when they put them onto Old Penny. But this, as original, will take virtually, it'll take all US coins and most UK coins as well. And it shows the last coin played in that little kind of circular window. And the idea was that the barman or whatever would pay you off. You know, if you put a cent in it and you got the black dice on 4 and IOU on the 3 white dice, that's what you had to do to win. Get IOU on the 3 white dice, then the black dice would give you the odds. So if you've got 4 on the black dice, for example, in the IOU, and you put a cent in, you get 4 cents. Or if you put a quarter in, you'd get $1 back, and so on and so on. So you could bet as much as you want. Interesting idea. Anyway, that's that one. Another little trade stim. This one really is a new case. It's kind of 2 sides, and the other 2 sides are a bit manky, so you probably want to make a whole new case of it, really. But it's all there, mechanically all there, complete, working, original dice with it. Just a good little restoration project. Another little trade stim. Can't remember what this one's called. Another dice one again. Another one we've not sold before. Triet it's called. That's quite sweet. A metal case one. It's Fortune Teller. So like a crystal gazer fortune teller. So the globe lights up. It's on 110. You know, you just need a little like plug-in, you know, sort of travel adapter thing. And you drop a cent in it. There's no buttons to press, handles. It's automatic. Drop your cent in, and the dices tumble. Then you add up the total of the dices, and that gives you the fortune on the front. There we are. A bit different. Fab Automata. Tim, what's his name? Can't remember his name. Hang on a minute. Let me look on the Automata page. I get them confused as to who's what. Bear with me a minute. I'll give you his name. Tim Douglas, that's it. I was going to say Tim Hardy. I get mixed up with Neil Hardy. Tim Hunkin. No, not Hunkin. No, Douglas. That's it. Right. Yes, Tim Douglas. So this is Marilyn. So that famous scene from the 7 Year Itch film where a dress blows up over the grate. So this one says little battery fan underneath it. So it really does blow up as you crank the handle. And the little doggy wags his tail and his ears prick up as her skirts go up. They're very amusing. I'll do a little video of it, of course. The little sign there for this is from Carter's First Arcade. Those of you who like your Carter's stuff. Chase the Bandit sign. A big carved dolphin. It's about 4.5 foot high, something like that. That's quite nice. Where else we got? Oh, a whole load of posters. There's one there on top from the Penny Arcade that used to be on Brighton Pier back in the day. which is responsible for getting me into this whole mad thing, really, with that arcade. So got a lot to answer for. Circus posters, fairground posters, quite a lot, I don't know, 30 or so probably. Little Butler figure, he's quite good. 3 foot high, maybe, something like that. 2.5, 3 foot high. Oh, well, we're back. I think you've seen these things before. These just bits I've not got around to adding to the website yet. Just a quick flick through those. This stuff from Blackpool. A few more machines. Trickler there. Ship's compass thingy, pinnacle compass. There we are. I think we're back to the front. So yes, there's all that lots to go on. There's supposed to be a few more Allwins coming as well. They're sort of kind of booked in and not here yet. So the chap was going to come last week, so I don't know if he's had vehicle problems or something. But that's it. So we're basically closed now for that auction for entries. Next week's job is Mammoth Week of photography and cataloguing again. So yeah, busy, busy, busy. Right, that's that. Let's go back over to the website a minute. Let's go to here. So we're working on new / improving a feature that was already there. So under so if you go on something, let's pick on Brian's 11s, because that's what we usually do when we look at something. Where are Brian's 11s? Here we go. So on the kind of the main page down here, on the main info bit, you had these buttons: add to favorites and add to virtual collection, place a wanted ad. Your favorites and your kind of virtual collection was the idea of the favorites list was to just, if you spot things, just so you can easily find them again. They end up on a list currently under the little cup of tea symbol, just because that's as far as I ever got around to programming it. I need to do a bit more work on this, but you have a favourites list here. I just put a couple of things in my sample account here. And then you kind of, your collection list was the idea of just to keep tally, if you want to, of your collection, what you've got. Particularly useful for things like we've sold today, books, magazines, where you kind of lose track of stuff. So anyway, so now put those buttons on. Let's go down then to, let's pick Brian's again. On the top of each of these, you'll see there's now 4 little buttons. If I zoom in a bit, might be a good idea. Making that some big like that. There you go. So that one adds, the little heart adds to your favourites. I might change the colour of these in a minute, but your tick boxes, if you've got it, if you've got something in your collection, tick the tick. The W, the upside down binoculars, the wanted, goes back to the, if you want to sort of put a wanted ad, as it were. It's not quite an advert, but the idea of that is if you're looking for one of these, you want to try and encourage someone to put one in the auction. If you say, oh yeah, I'd like one of those, I might be willing to be prepared to pay £1,000, let's say. You'll see there it lights up. They appear in the wanted section, which I'll show you in a minute if you don't know how it works. And the other one will be, I haven't got a list for this yet, but this one will be if you're kind of looking for something. And the idea was, or is rather, in a couple of weeks' time when I finish programming it, if one turns up in one of the auctions, it will ping you an email to say, we've got one of these coming up. Some people log into the website 2 or 3 times a week. Some people only log in once a month. So it's a way to make sure you don't miss things. But so all these little buttons are now on, each of these things, so they're much easier to find. Click them on, click them off, etc. I want to change that. So, for instance, where we just put, we might be prepared to pay around £1,000 for a 3-ball 9 cup. Where that appears is, if we go back to, let me just zoom back again to a sensible size. Go over here. So it comes in the wanted, in the relevant wanted section, either machines or books or fairground or whatever. And if you click on it, you'll see it's arrived here. £1,000 for a 3-ball 9 cup. You can always edit that, of course. Again, the button's lit up green because you've got an offer on it. If you want to change that to, I don't know, 1200, whatever, you'll see it changes there on the button to remind you, and it'll change on that main page. And also in your top bar, if you assume you're a trader member, you've got this thing which just keeps a tally of them. If you buy one, decide you don't want it anymore, just change the amount to 0 and it takes it off. It leaves it there temporarily as a grayed out button in case you do the wrong one, but you'll see if you refresh the page, for example, it's now gone altogether. So it's a quicker way of finding those buttons. So I'll redo those list pages a bit better in due course. But this was kind of prompted by people who were saying about, like, with the magazines, all the magazines we sold today, if you're trying to find a whole set of I don't know, whatever, Coca Times, let's say, we sold a lot of those today. Things like that, you know, it's not always easy to keep track of what you've got and what you haven't. So you can easily just go along here and go, oh yeah, I've got that one, I've got that one, got that one. Oh, I haven't got that one, so I'll put that one on my looking for list, and I haven't got that one, I'll put that on my looking for list, and so on. So I might change these colours maybe to red, amber and green or something, so they're a bit easier to give you a quick visual guide. And then if you're really keen on getting that one and you think, oh yeah, well, I really want that one because it's got a machine and I want, you could stick a tenner on there or something. And again, that will make on the magazine page, when anybody goes on there, it'll alert some, oh look, somebody might be prepared to pay a tenner for that. So you might want to stick yours in the next auction, and so on. So that's how all that works. There you go. Right, that's that. What else have I got to tell you? Film in a minute. There's something else I want to tell you. Yes, collecting delivery this week. So tomorrow I'm kind of tied up with various things, meetings and bits and bobs. And I need to actually spend a couple of hours going through all the piles of magazines and putting them into people's individual heaps. The invoices will probably go out. I might do them later tonight, or I might go to bed and get some rest and do them in the morning. So don't panic if you don't get your invoice today. And then if you want them posted, just let me know and I'll weigh them for the postage cost. So that's that. Or if you want to come and collect them, I'm around pretty much all week in Cambridge, Tuesday to the weekend. Possibly one day at the weekend I'll get to Leamington. Not sure yet because there's a lot on. I really want to crack on with this, you know, cataloguing the next auction. David said, I think it's all very clever what you're doing. I surprise myself sometimes, yes. I've got loads more plans as well of things to do with the website. Things like, especially with the machines. So let's go back to our good old favourite of the Brian's 11s is. Because we've got lots of results for that, haven't we? Brian's 11s is. So you see here we sold 47 of them since we were working from the Elephant House, and obviously dozens for the years before that. So eventually I'll do on here a kind of a price charting thing. So it will be a graph with how the prices have gone over the years, but also because we're looking at over a long period of time, it needs to be inflation adjusted. And that's an awful lot of maths to do in the background, but it's doable. Because it's like looking through some of the old auction catalogues. You know, when you look back into the 70s and things, you see a machine was, oh, £50. Oh gosh, that was cheap. But of course, relatively, it's probably no different than it is today. So we can inflation adjust those prices. So we could chart out on here, for example, that, so back here at 2011, a Brian's 11 is sold for £280 plus premium. But that today's equivalent price might be £350 or £400 or something, I don't know. If that makes sense, you can get a better idea of how the prices have really moved over the years. And that's when all this massive quantity of data we've got really kind of comes into play, really. And also results from other auctions, we can chuckle them in there as well. So that's a thing to do. Well, I've got time to program it. It's all in the pipeline. It's all on my list of jobs. Steve, will you be getting around to posting items from the auction on May 28th, as I'm still waiting for a poster. There is a couple of posters to go out because I needed to get some more postal tubes. That could well be yours, waiting for me to go to the shop to go out some postal tubes. So yes, doing lots of posting this week with all the magazines and stuff, of course. So yes is the short answer. Right. Any more questions, far away, of course. Let's look at a little film I found, which I think is, let me just fire my headphones up. Very jolly little film. I think it's only 3 minutes long or something. 1954, day trip to Margate with the beach and Dreamland and Punch and Judy and all sorts of things. So it's quite a jolly little film with the very novel commentary on it, as we like on these little things. I thought that'd be nice to round off the evening with all this talk of Europe in meltdown because of the sunshine. We'll have a look at what the seaside used to be like here 70 almost years ago, isn't it? 1954, nearly 70 years ago. There we are. That's for butchers. Right, stick them on so I can hear. Film, here we go.
Get up early enough and you could walk for miles, 9 miles to be precise, along this famous beach without meeting a soul. Recognize it? Yes, it's Margate, with only a handful of bolder bathers to hint at the 80,000 sun-hungry visitors who'll be invading this resort before the day is over. Margate wakes up and starts its day as we'd all like to do, slowly. The deck chairs are put out on the grounds of the swankier hotels, along the prom and down on the foreshore. In the next 12 hours, they'll be sagging with the weight of some 35,000 holiday-making Britons, taking a load off their feet. If you want a quiet cuppa, this is the time to get it, and be the first of nearly 40,000. You could be the first, too, to watch the Dicky Bird and start the 1,000-strong chorus of cheese. Whoopee floats, they call them, ready to start the day with a splash. And we're almost awake now as the donkeys resolve all over again not to lose their tempers today. Broad humour with broader scenes, or a view you can mark with a cross. You can take your choice, traditional as the 3-foot sticks of rock lettered all the way through. And so they come to a beach which is far from lonely now, to find a place in the sun, to stretch their legs and doze in a sweltering paradise where the office and the washing up are forgotten things and sandcastles come out just right. Older than all of them, Punch and Judy go through their time-honored antics to become a never-to-be-forgotten part of a never-to-be-forgotten holiday.
What time is it?
Judy takes it lying down. And so do Jane and Ethel, horizontal or vertical enough to write home, or even with appetites which defy the efforts of more than 5,000 landladies. It's all the same. It's the seaside. By midday, you'd hardly think there was room for any more invaders. But Margate takes to heart the old saying, there's always room for one more. Bills on it, it makes room for the Royal Sovereign's 2,000 more. From London and Southend, the day trippers are very much the new arrivals by the time they come, raw recruits to the army of fun. Fun indeed is the keynote of Dreamland's battle against gravity and that one too many ice cream. It's an up and down crazy land of hectic entertainment where the only passport you need are courage, a good stomach and high, really high spirits. For a quieter life and a pleasanter view, join the judges of the Lido's Bathing Beauty competition. Study the art of looking only technically interested. If the health visitors who came here 2 centuries ago to drink the seawater could only see the old place now. Suddenly, before you hardly realize it, it's time to be going. Time to get your shoes back on, shake the sand off your clothes, and leave a beach as deserted now as it was so recently crowded. The end of a 12-hour full circle of activities means that chairs have to be put away, rubbish cleared, and the beach made ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow, as the song says, is another day. Another day of gaiety and relaxation. Another day at the seaside.
Oh, there you go. Good, eh? Yes, 1950s voiceovers. I always find quite amusing. Not sure I'd get a lineup of bathing beauties from these days. It's all terribly on PC, isn't it? Marvellous. That's what we like. It reminded me of seeing those, the rack of Saucy Seaside postcards. We'll have an auction of those coming up sometime in the autumn as well. Big collection of Donald McGill's is, oh, I don't know, somewhere between 500 and 1,000, I think. So I might do those as an auction. Some very, very early ones. Right the way through to the 50s, 60s, whenever they were. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that lot does. Another nice little auction. Yeah, it's all go. All go, all go. Right, I think that's it. I'm absolutely cream crackered after this afternoon, as you can probably imagine. So I think I'm going to have a cup of tea and an early night. Sounds like a good plan. And we'll catch up again on Tuesday night. Oh, the other thing I need to remind you is pencil in 23rd of September for the day down at Paul Mitchell's. I don't think Paul's on tonight. He hasn't said hello, so he's probably busy in the shed fixing something, I should think. So, yeah, do bear that one in mind. Pencil it in. We'll have details properly in the next week or two. But 23rd, which is a Saturday of September, is the Saturday before the auction on the Sunday. So pencil that one in. It'll be a good day. Why have I got heart up here? I don't know why this heart thing keeps up. My father was a smudger on Clacton Sea front in the 50s. Oh, excellent. Got any photos? Love old seaside photographs. Have a rummage through the family album, see what you can find. And yeah, good stuff. Yeah, so 23rd of September, book that in. As I say, we'll have details ironed out in the next week or so on that one. That'll be a nice fun day out, and hopefully I shall have news in a few days, hopefully of another little summer meet-up. It'll be a bit of an impromptu one, but a bit of a bring and show, or whatever we call them before, what we've done. You bring along a thing or two and have a look at every other's thing or two. Marvellous. Do you want to scan any of the photo lots I won for the Coldcon website? I'll have to look what you got. Potentially time is the thing. Yes, I've still got this big pile of pinball flyers to finish scanning and start uploading. I haven't uploaded any of them yet, but yeah, we will get around to it. I could do with a full-time scanning, editing, uploading person, but they cost money is the problem. But yes, marvellous. Right, I think that's it. My brain is totally addled after today, even more so than normal. So I will bid you farewell. We'll catch up again on Tuesday night with more info about the next auction. The catalogue will be starting to come together by then. And the last of the bits and bobs we should know what's going to be in. Yeah. Great stuff. I think that's it. You know where I am in the meantime. If you want me, as I say, invoices will probably go out in the morning realistically, because I'm a bit too knackered tonight to sort them out. And so don't panic, you haven't got one yet. And see you Tuesday. I think that's it. Marvellous. I'm off. Nighty night.